What's up, guys? I'm back with another video. This time I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about just my running journey so far, because I've recently gotten back into it after taking a very long hiatus. But I've also changed a lot in terms of the way I think about my fitness and other ways I'm trying to incorporate activities that complement my overall goals when it comes to my fitness journey. So yeah, I recently started running again the last few weeks, and I've been doing it about 2-3 times a week now, along with my strength training that I do with lifting weights and the dance training I do with the teaching I do on a bi-weekly basis. And I've learned a few things already by jumping, or rather running back into it. And one of those, well, I'll mention actually 3.1 things for how I've sort of taken running back into my routine and what I've already taken away from it. But the first thing is just remembering how mentally tough this sort of activity is, right? On my first run back a few weeks ago, I remember in mile 2 thinking that this was already such a challenging thing to undertake. And I remember thinking that I was so tired, it was hot, I was sweating, I wanted to just completely stop. But I found myself also thinking that I wanted to keep pushing and going. And I've already completed 2 miles, and how I was already just a mile away from completing a 5K, which I had not run in maybe 4 years now. And so I pushed through at mile 2, and I finally got to that 3rd mile and finished 5K, and I did it maybe like in 31 minutes or so, something not super fast, but just, you know, able to sort of endure that pain you feel. When you're running, you are feeling it in your feet, you're feeling it in your hips, you're feeling it definitely in all sorts of parts of your body, and most importantly, you're feeling it mentally. So the next thing I really learned is just how physically demanding it is. I ran a 5K back in 2019 when I would try running, and I did it back then as a time to just make it a part of my fitness. At the time, I wasn't strength training back then. I wasn't focused on sort of my fitness goals very seriously. I just sort of was dancing and then also running and incorporating that into my routine. And I was really lazy. I would just only run maybe twice a week and think that maybe 1 mile each time would prepare me for a 5K, but I was very wrong. I ended up doing the 5K, which was great, and I remember feeling very happy about that, but I also remember feeling just very lazy about my approach looking back on it. I would really think that, oh, I didn't need to do that much to prepare for this, or that it would just be this easy thing that I could, you know, sort of try out. But I am now quickly remembering just how physically tough this is for the body. You know, it obviously seems like this very simple thing that you take on. You just put your shoes on and you just start going, and you just keep going, right? There is no real step 2. But what I found is that you quickly learn just what your body is going through and what it's actually capable of. And in all that, you quickly and very humbly realize just how demanding this type of activity is. So lately, you know, there have been a lot of races going on in New York City, like 5Ks, 10Ks, Brooklyn Half Marathon just recently happened. And it really gives me a large amount of respect for anyone that takes on running very seriously and pursues races and marathons and that sort of thing. So it's been nice to put myself back in these running shoes and put myself even just a little bit in someone else's shoes who's really pursuing these races full time, and I really commend them for that. And maybe even one day I'll end up getting into that position myself, who knows. The third thing it's taught me is just how much control it requires, not just your body, but everything, right? Controlling your thoughts and the way you're feeling in the moment, controlling yourself physically in the way your body is adapting to the run. and more specifically adapting the breathing techniques that I'm trying to relearn for running. And I'm quickly remembering just how much I would be out of breath and panting and not being able to control my breathing as much. But now I'm taking it upon myself to just very consciously think about that breathing and how I want to inhale into my lungs to be able to get that oxygen right into my body to give it more energy, and to also consciously just know that by panting I'm actually releasing more energy that I need to, and being in control of my breath allows me to be more focused, think clearly about how I'm feeling right now, and allow me to keep pushing on the run. So it's been nice to add that to my daily habits of meditation, and to be able to consciously think about something like breathing, especially when your body's going through a lot in a run. I think being able to really be mindful of how you're controlling your breathing just adds to all sorts of aspects in your life, right? We think a lot about how it is so difficult for us to just focus and to concentrate and to just be conscious of our energy and our time and our way of speaking or breathing or thinking even. But I've learned a lot in the last few years that when we slow down, we control our thoughts, we're then able to really control our actions, right? And then our actions lead to the habits we develop, and the habits lead to the life we ultimately lead. So yeah, it all starts there. It all starts with just being really mindful and taking steps to be more in control about how you're going about your life, and then in this case about your run and your breathing. And then finally, there's the 0.1 aspect, right? So I mentioned that I've learned 3.1 things about running so far, because 3.1 miles equals to 5K, and that's what I've been able to achieve on my morning run so far. But the 0.1 comes in where that, to me, symbolizes that you've really made it, right? You've hit that 3 miles, and that 0.1 is just that final push you need to complete that 5K. And to me, that just shows me that anything is achievable, right? If you really just set your mind to it, if you push through, if you allow yourself to endure the pain just for those 3 miles, that 0.1 is not for anyone else but for you. It shows that you did that shit, you powered through, you were able to achieve that, just that extra moment to push the boundary of what you were able to achieve, or what you thought you were not able to do before. So all in all, I'm really enjoying this experience so far, and getting back into running and experiencing it again, and to also just incorporate it again into my other fitness habits, like my dancing, and how it's showing me that I can be stronger than this, I can endure more, or how with strength training I can make this a consistent thing, I can make this a complementary habit to my overall fitness. So to anyone out there that is thinking about starting to run, or who has stopped running and is wondering how they can maybe incorporate it back into their routine, yeah, I hope this video helps to just hear my thoughts as someone who does want to strive for more, strive to be better. I want to strive for my goals that I'm setting out for myself. And if I can do that by experimenting in different activities, all aiming towards that holistic goal of just being active and being fit and being healthy, then maybe running's for you. And if you're listening out there, yeah, I hope this has been helpful to hear from someone who's just trying to get back into it and learning and progressing along the way. So that's been 3.1 things that I've learned so far in my running journey now that I'm getting back into it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Robespierre, and I'll see you in the next one.